Let us graph the inequality that is given. Negative 4 is less than x is less than or equal to 2/3. So that is your inequality, and of course we discussed that before. Because of the numbers on opposite sides of x, we typically call that kind of inequality a two-sided inequality. First, going from left to right, as in typical mathematical fashion, we will begin on the left. So negative 4 is less than x. What does that mean? Right there we are saying that negative 4 is less than x, which of course you will mean that x is greater than negative 4. But negative 4 is less than x. And again we have x is less than or equal to 2/3. Also that x is less than or equal to 2/3. With negative 4 being less than x and x being less than or equal to 2/3, this means that x is somewhere between the two values, but not quite. So that's not all. But typically, or one might say obviously, although not necessarily, because we have negative 4 is less than x is less than or equal to 2/3, we are saying that the value of x must exist somewhere between negative 4 and 2/3. There is no blindfolding. Just as negative 4 is on the left of x and 2/3 is on the right, so they will be on the graph of the inequality. Right, so everything is pretty much in the same order as we will have them. Negative 4 on the left, 2/3 on the right, and when we are graphing the inequality, they will also be on the left and the right, respectively, of the graphical representation. However, we are beginning in the same fashion as the examiners, because the examiners supplied us with pretty much the section of line segment concerned, and not only that, but the value 0 was also included. The number line was given with 0 included. We do not need all of the values for sure. We only need the values in question. Place negative 4 and 2/3 relative to 0 on the line. So if we have a number line with a 0, conventionally negative numbers are to the left and positive numbers are to the right, and this time is no exception. Notice that there is an effort to show that negative 4 is some greater distance from 0 than 2/3. But as we will see, it is not necessary for the values to be proportionately placed. As long as they are relatively placed, then that is going to suffice. So we have negative 4 is less than x, and we are taking a look at the less than sign. That is our focus at the moment. Negative 4 must be strictly less than x. This means that x cannot be equal to negative 4, strictly less than. This is shown by making use of an open circle. So when the value of x cannot be equal to the value concerned, when we are representing that on the graph, we represent that by making use of an open circle, as we have it right there. What about this one, where x is less than or equal to 2/3? It means that the value of x can be equal to 2/3. X is less than or equal to 2/3. This means that 2/3 is a possible value of x. This is shown by a shaded circle. Right, so the circle must be shaded if x is a possible value of the value that is stated or the value concerned. The positions of the numbers, as we stated before, do not have to be proportionate. So this does not have to be relative to this exactly -4 units and this 2/3 of a unit. It is not important. What's important would be the relative positions, where this one is to the left. I do not like to use left and right when I'm talking mathematics. I like to use terms like the negative side, the positive side. In the negative direction, we have -4, and it is the negative direction relative to 0. So there we have our -4. And in the positive direction relative to 0, there we have our 2/3. And it is not necessary for them to be proportionately placed. For access to hundreds of free videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Richard James Mathematics Resources. For unlimited access to thousands of exclusive full-length videos, please subscribe to our Vimeo channel, Richard James Mathematics Resources.